Alright, what's happening, y'all? It's Key Marcane coming to you all the way live. Your favorite country cousin, your favorite Mississippian, and your best friend. Here to bring you another installment of Working Woman Wednesday. Put your W's in the air one time for the one time. Here today with a very, very, very special guest. Phenomenal story, phenomenal work ethic, just all the way through the roof. We got Miss Jazmeen, the beautiful and beautifully talented Miss Durè. How you doing, Jazzy?
All is well. How are you?
I'm doing well. Glad that you took the time out of your busy schedule to speak with me on the day.
I can say the same.
Yes, indeed. So we're going to get right into it if that's all right.
Absolutely. Let's jump into it.
Let's jump into it. So I got a couple of questions for you.
Absolutely.
And the first one would be, how would you define womanhood?
Womanhood.
Yeah.
Okay. In this century?
In this century, you know, however you see womanhood, how would you define that?
Honestly, I would define womanhood as knowing yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, as a woman, you have to be so tapped in and tuned in with like your power, you know what I'm saying? And what part you play. Like, you have to align. I always tell people that, like, you have to align. So, womanhood to me is like literally finding out who you are.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And playing that role.
Finding out who you are and playing that role. Okay. So, what has womanhood actually taught you up until this point in your life today?
You know, womanhood broke me down.
Word.
Because it's like being a woman, being a black woman, two.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, where do you go where, you know, you're accepted, where you can be you?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So womanhood, honestly, is painful. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like as a woman, I can speak for myself, but I feel like I can speak for other women as well. Womanhood is hard. It's super hard. It's never enough. You know what I'm saying? You never look good enough. You're never working hard enough. You know what I'm saying? So womanhood really broke me down. It taught me that I have to do everything times two to even be equivalent. So I'm gonna be honest, like, it's not some pippy cheery answer, like, what am I gonna teach you? Like, I learned the hard way. You know what I'm saying? Especially diving straight into corporate America, like, you know, I got eaten up.
Third question would be, before we get into the nitty gritty, what advice would you share with other young women, or anybody for that matter, as they go through their womanhood or their childhood or adulthood, more specifically young ladies in their womanhood? What advice would you share with them?
Absolutely. So, to be honest, speaking to women directly, any age from, you know, young to old, I would say be kind, you know what I'm saying? Like, and when I say that, first, be kind to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a woman, like, everybody else is already tearing you down. You know what I'm saying? So if you gonna fall in line, like, that's it. You know what I'm saying? So be that one person to at least be kind to yourself. And then be kind to other women. You know what I'm saying? Because literally, we come in every shape, form, or in size, and everyone isn't good enough. You know what I'm saying? That's what society says. You know what I'm saying? So be kind to yourself, one, but be kind to another woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'd be surprised at how many mean girls I've, you know, experienced and encountered in my life. And it's honestly the most heartbreaking thing to experience and to see. You know what I'm saying? Because if everybody's already against us, what do we look like being against each other? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so I would say definitely be kind. It makes all the difference.
I love it.
All the difference.
Wow. Be kind. And look, simple advice to bring on your everyday life. I love that. I know one of the greatest pieces of advice that I received was that attitude is the master key to life, and with the right one, you can open any door, right? And so being kind to somebody, having a positive attitude, working well with one another, that's a beautiful thing. I want to go back to you saying that how womanhood broke you down pretty much, right? Define that moment when it was like, all right, I met my low, how can I get back up? How can I climb back up? How can I crawl back up that wall and make something like happen for myself?
So basically, how did I what was my way out.
What was your way out?
America.
Yeah, how did you escape?
It's so funny that you asked that. To be honest, I had to find something to redirect my energy towards.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, to be honest, there's a healing I feel like that takes place naturally that, time, over time, has to take its course, that healing, that process. But in the meantime, you have to redirect your energy. You know what I'm saying? Because you still have 24 hours of the day. You have to figure out what you're going to do with it, right? So what I did was I started my own business.
Hey, okay. Let's talk about it.
I started my own business, and it's so crazy because this is a business that I actually did as a project in grade school. So almost 8 years down the line, this business manifested into something that I used in my lowest point, honestly, to bring me up. So yeah, that's what I did. I redirected it and started my own brand.
So that business, that brand, that redirection, what did that turn into? What is that business? What is that brand?
Absolutely. So that brand that I created, in turn, is Suffering in Silence. It's a nonprofit that I'm starting, but what I did was I created an LLC underneath that nonprofit. The LLC, in turn, is to raise money, to feed Suffering in Silence. The movement, as you can call it. I want it to be a movement. But I started a baking business. I used that as a platform to get people acquainted with me as a businesswoman, you know what I'm saying? So that when I finally hit the ground running with Suffering in Silence, I won't be like, who is this lady talking about Suffering in Silence? I'll be like, oh yeah, that's the cupcake lady talking about Suffering in Silence. Now they have something to, identify me by. Exactly. So the goal, honestly, isn't to create desserts for the rest of my life, but using that as a tool and as an avenue to open up networks with different people and tell my story.
Wow, yo, use what you got to get to where you want to be at. The cupcake is the vehicle. You just heard it from herself. Not looking to bake her entire life. There's a bigger purpose behind it. So make sure y'all tap into that. Now, I want to talk about. You said something about the difficulties in corporate America. I want to know about the difficulties within that, as well as like how tough was it to kind of get the business off the ground? Like, what was so special about the cupcake? You started out as a project, but then it turned into something. And the cupcakes, yo.
Amazing.
Yo, amazing. I need y'all to tap in, shop with the homie, get you some cupcakes. But yeah.
So it's so funny that the same difficulties are what you use to like pull you out of that difficult time. You know what I'm saying? Like, so for example, being in corporate America, off rip, I could be in the same position as somebody, literally be hired on, like this is a real scenario, be hired on the same exact time as them, same everything, and if I can toot my own horn, even perform better than this person, said person. Even, this was a company that I had been with for 7 years at the time, and this is somebody that never had been with the company with, a pretty hefty record too, you know what I'm saying? So, and I'm not to judge anyone, but it's plain. You have a resume, you have two different characteristics, and you come in and the person still makes more than you just because of his sex. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, so experiencing things like that, like I work, I sweat, I put in the time, and it's still literally half of what you gave someone just off rip. You know what I'm saying? So facing different things like that, or even coming to my workplace and having my hair a certain way and it being, made fun of, or, to be honest, there's a rag on your head. You know what I'm saying? Things like that, it really breaks you down as a woman. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, all that fueled me to want to leave. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I gotta get this business right now. I gotta go. I gotta quit. I can't wait for the day that I can say, toodles. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to conform to anything. You know what I'm saying? That, you guys are saying that I should conform to. Fitting in a box that you guys tell me to fit into. So facing all those different things, those rude comments, you know what I'm saying? Or even being valued less, you know what I'm saying? Just literally physically, on paper, valued less, was my motivation to go harder. And the cupcakes, honestly, like I said, it was a project, but I don't know what makes the cupcake so special. I think it's small, but it packs a lot of power. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I guess my thing for cupcakes are. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are, sometimes they get so caught up in the big extravagant 3-layer cake, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes those are the ones that might just taste the worst on the inside.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Not to be negative, but but these cupcakes, they're small and they pack a lot of punch. You know what I'm saying? The things we have been able to do as a company, the people that we've been able to inspire, you know what I'm saying? Like, has been crazy. I never knew, you know what I'm saying, the cupcakes could really, like, I could say change lives. Like, it's so weird.
What's been the most inspiring story or impact that you made on a person that made you say, oh yeah, this is for me? Yeah.
Okay. So this was actually about, I have like at least 2 or 3 I could think of. So
we got the time.
Okay, so one, I remember on 2 occasions I was in the mall, and this was when I first started my business, and I was really heavy with connecting my brand to motivating people. You know what I'm saying? Just sharing daily messages, encouraging and inspiring people with my, my testimony and my experiences. And on 2 occasions, I was in the mall and people literally came up to me, strangers, and they were like, "Are you just Jazmeen on Instagram?" Like, and it almost felt so surreal. Like, you would have thought I had 2.3 million, followers. The way 2 different occasions, 2 different days, 2 different weeks, 2 different strangers.
Wow.
Saying like, "I see you." You know what I'm saying? Like,
wow, okay.
Like, honestly, so surreal. Like, so surreal. So that was 1. 2, I got a call on my business line, and it was a family. They said they heard about my brand some way, somehow. They said that they had just lost their son to suicide. And suffering in silence, as you may or may not know, is mental health advocacy, and we try to definitely advocate for suicide awareness, domestic violence, amongst other things. So they called me up, like, "We know what your brand is, we know what they do, we need your help." You know what I'm saying? So they told me their scenario with their, past son. And, I was like, wow, like, this is exactly what I want to do. I want to raise money for people that, may have been going through something, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was my age at the time, 21 years old at the time, committed suicide. You know what I'm saying? The goal is to get people before it gets to that point. You know what I'm saying? But being able to still do something for the family after they lost their son was like everything for me. So literally, I held my bake sale. I let people know, like, every single sale proceeds will go to this cause, and I was able to write the check to the family. And who knows if that paid for all the flowers at the funeral? Who knows, like, the little things, you know what I'm saying, made all the difference. But I know that when my brand expands, maybe we'll be able to, cover all the costs. You know what I'm saying? That's the goal.
It will cover all the costs.
Yes, but we're actually going to get the suicide rate to 0.
Yes,
because
indeed.
It's not tolerated. It's very disheartening to see all these young people going through so much and suffering in silence.
I think people underestimate, like, what people go through. Like, you can't look at somebody and just think that their life is perfect just based on the surface level. You know what I mean? They can probably be the flyest person in the room, shaking hands, kissing babies and whatnot. But in their mind, they may be battling something on a daily basis. But it's like a masquerade in a sense. You know what I mean? You're disguising it, making it look good on the outer surface, but there's much more to the story. I want to go back to what you said in terms of being seen, right? When in the first scenario, when you was like, "Oh, it's just Jazmeen on Instagram, I see you." When somebody says, "I see you," like, do you feel seen, one? And when somebody says that to you, like, what does that make you feel like? What does that mean to you?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, for me, my brain is a little bit wired than the normal average person. So it's like, when people say things to me, they don't click. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to do it. I have to see it. That's the only way, like, I tell people this all the time, like, you heard me, but you didn't feel me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could hear all you want, and it's in one ear and out the other. You know what I'm saying? But when you feel that means it's resonated with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's penetrated your core. You know what I'm saying? Like, you may listen to a podcast and you might be hyped off that podcast. You didn't take any notes. You didn't really tap in like you could have. And you hyping. 30 minutes later, you can't recite anything from that podcast.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? You heard it though. You heard all 60 minutes of the podcast, but you can't recite anything that it said. That's because you heard, but you didn't feel. You know what I'm saying? You didn't really open your heart to receive. So when people say those type of things, they don't hit me. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't, in turn, don't even hear them. It's weird. You know what I'm saying? So I can't really dissect why that is, but yeah.
Do you feel seen currently though?
Does
Jazmeen feel seen? The people around her, with the business, like, do you feel seen?
Seen. I feel like in a sense that I feel seen for what people can use me for. You know what I'm saying?
What benefits them?
What benefits them. So they see that part. You know?
Okay.
That's what they see at the moment. So if you need somebody to fix your sink, they see Jazmeen, the plumber. If you see someone who needs some baked goods, they see Jazmeen, the baker. If you need someone to fix your car, they see Jazmeen, the mechanic. Like, they see what they want to see in the moment of that need and that desire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel seen, but for all the wrong reasons. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I have my own story to tell, my own purpose, my own passion, my own plans. But I'm so busy, fitting to what the need is that I'm not creating my own,
Wow. That's, whew. You said, "Mom, gotta let that breathe." That was a mouthful right there.
Speaking of breathe.
Breathe.
For real. They should have courses on breathing, like in school.
Well, not in school, yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, schools need to revamp completely.
Just everything.
Teach self-care, teach about mental health.
Yes.
Teach deep breathing exercises along with, incorporate that in your physical education or PE, for lack of better words.
And that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do with my business. So in turn, with teaching, you know what I'm saying, and demonstrating, good traits to have a, balanced lifestyle on every level, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially. I want to create a space where those who desire to know more can come. You know what I'm saying? Because I used to want to be like a principal or, be a superintendent. I used to want to really be able to have an effect on, education, the educational system and what's being taught. And in my head, I realized like, that's something, and I don't want to be negative about it, but it may be something we can't ever, change completely. Yeah. But it's a lot of work. So instead of me trying to change the system that's already in place, let me create a new system.
For sure. And
it's just like, in my head, it's like, after someone's been in school for 8 hours, what makes you think they're want to come to your after school program or, and learn more? That's why I say it's for the people that hunger for it. Right. So if you're in school and you're like, dang, like, either the kids are going to be like, I'm tired, I want to go home, or they're going to be like, you know what, I'm still hungry. I want to know how to, balance my checkbook. I want to know about numbers. I want to know about, self-care. You have to want to know beyond what people are teaching. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can never just be content with what someone says and just believe it. Like, you literally have to be hungry enough to do the research yourself and want that. So I want those people. Yeah. I want the people that want it. You know what I'm saying? I want them all in the same space, and I want them having all the resources that they need, all the resources that we don't have now, that kids currently don't have. How many of us know how to do our own taxes? Right. How many of us know how to buy our own house? Facts. Or buy our own car? You know what I'm saying? Like, and we're grown. Grown. We're grown. Who knows how to have a 800 plus credit score? Right. It's very seldom that you find people that know how to do that. You know what I'm saying? So creating that space for people that want to know to do that. That's powerful. And to kind of add on to that, right?
and it bleeds into increasing in your soft skills, like how to communicate, how to do these other things, because we're taught a lot of the hard labor things. You know what I mean? Like working on the cars, getting trades, which is all great, by the way.
Yeah.
But you know, how to learn how to properly communicate with folks, get things off the right way, deliver it the right way. I think that should be taught as well. Some kind of etiquette.
Yes, etiquette.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
That's cool. Wow. I mean, you said some mental shampoo for real. Riddle me this. Mm-hmm. Is Jazmeen, is she where she want to be right now?
No. I don't believe so. But I feel like we're in a society, or we're in a time where we want more all the time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can have a goal, you get to it, and as soon as you get there, I want more. I want more. I want more. So it's like I ask myself, like, am I ever gonna truly be where I want to be? You know what I'm saying? Or is that a trap question? You know what I'm saying? That's a trap question. No?
You know, if you listen to Big Sean on Detroit 2,
You know I love some tunes.
yo, on this record, he mentioned that, you know, accomplishing a certain goal or living out a certain dream, but he had mentioned in the lyric, he said, once you decide to do it, you're already living your dream. And I think once you shift that perspective in that way, oh my God, like doors are fly open for you. I think, you know, like Nipsey said, it's a marathon. Like the marathon continues.
Yes.
You feel what I'm saying? So I agree with you in saying that will be a trap question, because even when you hit the thing that you want to hit, there's always more. There's always more money. That's why I said, we was talking earlier kind of offline, like Love Yours is my favorite record by J. Cole, right? There will always be more money. There will always be a person, you know, you can have a spouse. You might see, in your case, a guy that look better than your husband. In my case, a woman that look better than my wife. Like, there's always gonna be something better. Clothes fresher than the ones you rock. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I think it's important to figure out the essentials, as well as, you know, what's vital that you need in your own life. Because simple is best. Suffering in silence, the cupcakes, and the brand. From this moment in October 2020, in the next 3 to 5 years, what does all this look like for you?
To be honest, in the next 3 to 5 years, it's hard to say now, you know what I'm saying? Because we're all kind of in the dark, just as a country, as a
world,
as a nation,
yeah.
as a world.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say. I learned to stop planning so detailed that far along, because you really don't know. But ideally, where I would like to be is, having that storefront. You know what I'm saying? With my baked goods in the front, still doing that thing. Hiring employees to take care of that, but having that space for workshops to take place. Those financial literacy workshops. Okay. Those, domestic violence, whatever the campaign is at the time. You know what I'm saying? Whether that space is there to provide hurricane relief or, things happen every day in the world, in the news. So really staying up to date with that and, filling the need at the time. You know what I'm saying? So if there's a natural disaster coming, making sure that we're raising funds to prepare for that. You know what I'm saying? The overall goal is to make sure that I don't think there should be this much lack. I don't think people should have this much lack. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there's a huge imbalance in the world right now. Like, I don't understand how there's people starving and dying of starvation, and there's people literally throwing away food at their fingertips. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like we need to draw back and redistribute everything from the physicals to food to mental. Like, I always, this quote always resonates with me, like how we spend most of our adult life unlearning everything that we learned just to relearn the right way. Right. You know what I'm saying? So 3 to 5 years, I see that storefront doing things like that, you know, and, you know, getting into these high schools, you know what I'm saying, talking to these kids, really just being transparent. I just want to open up my lifestyle and open up my journey for people to view, you know what I'm saying, and hopefully be inspired, be encouraged, because I realize that I have a thing for making people feel comfortable, you know what I'm saying, comfortable enough to, it's crazy, people tell me all the time, like, you inspired me to start my business. I'm like, wait, what? Like, you know what I'm saying, just for being open, for being vulnerable, you know what I'm saying? So if that vulnerability gives people the confidence to, you know, get that major breakthrough from, you know, living a regular life to living in your purpose, I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? Showing you my good, bad, and ugly, if that inspires you, that's what you want to see, I'll give it to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially if I know that it's going to bring you out of whatever you're in, or avoid you from going into something that maybe you never had to go into. You know what I'm saying?
Love to see it. A few more things.
Absolutely.
And we'll check out. Business-wise, Black women have the fastest growing businesses. How does that make you feel?
Honestly, like I said prior, working in corporate America, you know, dealing with those type of experiences, it doesn't surprise me. You know what I'm saying? So as far as it makes me feel, I can't be hurt anymore. You know what I'm saying? I can't be disappointed anymore because it's the norm. You know what I'm saying? It's regular. It's what we're accustomed to. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to say we don't have a voice to change it or anything like that. But as far as how does it make me feel? It makes me feel like as a woman, I need to get so confident in myself that I know what to value myself at. And that I'm so confident there's no ands, ifs, or buts about what my value is. And if you don't like it, the next person will. The next person will pay the ticket. You know what I'm saying? So it's a confidence thing, to be honest, because there's no way around, you know, there's no way around how they value us. You know what I'm saying? People don't value you. I'm not in control of what you value me at. All I can do is put my standard and my value on myself, and either you're gonna get in where you fit in, or you're gonna fall off. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely how I feel about that.
Okay. And
but it's definitely it's hurtful.
Yeah.
Definitely hurtful.
Confidence. You're a very confident young lady.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
And how important would you, if you were sharing the message of confidence to a younger lady or even an older lady or anyone, right? How, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is confidence?
20.
Hey, breaking the
20.
radar.
Because now I always think of confidence in the same sense as faith. You know what I'm saying? Like believing in something that may not be there. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're confident, you're telling people like what to believe about you. You know what I'm saying? Like when, I don't know how to explain it, but in the same sense, confidence and faith is the same thing.
Okay.
So how far can you go without faith? Ask yourself, how far can you go without faith?
Yeah.
And the same answer is, how far can you go without confidence?
I love that.
Nowhere.
I love that.
Nowhere. It's two in the same.
Yeah.
It's two in the same. If you don't believe in what you're doing, what you're saying, how you walking, who else is gonna believe it? You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely, confidence is a 20. On a scale of 10, it's a 20. Double up on the confidence.
Yes, Lord.